big good one here, and eventually we will like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, help promote and rank on my channel. It's very hard to compete in the YouTube algorithm these days. I appreciate all the likes, clicks, interactions, comments, all that stuff. I greatly appreciate you guys. Thanks for viewing, thanks for tuning in. Back to review episode 4 of WandaVision. And I'm very late on this review, so much so that there's probably not an audience for it, but for the sake of my own continuity, and with the appropriate title, it could be very informative for those of you more casual MCU viewers that feel like this universe isn't what you signed up for. This isn't the way it used to be. You're feeling you've stumbled into an alternate dimension.
Captain Rambo. Watch it.
An alternate universe where the MCU just isn't the same.
I don't even know who you are.
You will.
Get ready to be snapped back into existence, because this episode delivers everything you need to feel right back at home in the MCU, exposing and doing away with most of the mystery that has left a lot of people baffled and off-put with WandaVision. Considering the first 3 episodes, this one delivers them from an all different perspective, from this perspective of outsiders looking in. And it starts us right from the snap, where everybody was snapped back into existence. It sees the return of some of those supporting characters that we have not seen for a while. Darcy from the first 2 Thor movies. You've got Wu from the Ant-Man. So it's a pretty interesting episode. I found it pretty compelling. Now, I have actually felt right at home here with WandaVision. I knew what I was getting into with these 2 characters, considering the source material, knew what I was in for, but a lot of your more casual audience, MCU moviegoers and stuff, this isn't the kind of content they're used to. This isn't the kind of content that they want.
You're definitely not my friend. You are a stranger.
Marvel does have a formula that has kind of gotten cliche and tired, but some people are right at home with that formula and they love it, and now they're feeling like they're outsiders.
And I want you to leave.
Because this show isn't delivering them what their usual stuff is, what they're familiar with. This show has twisted everything around, and it feels like a very different Marvel Cinematic Universe than what people are familiar with. However, this episode right here makes everybody feel right at home. I feel like if you did not like the first 3 episodes at all, you would definitely like this one. This one would help you understand a bit more of what's going on, explaining it to you. Me, of course, like I said, I felt right at home. So to me, while this episode is compelling and stuff, it's pretty much just an explanation. The entire episode is pretty much just explanatory. It's explaining to the audience what's actually going on, and I find that a bit underwhelming, despite the fact that I like the return of Wu and Darcy, and I really enjoy Monica Rambeau, who gets to be the centerpiece of this episode alongside Darcy and Wu. And Monica Rambeau, as you know, is actually a Captain Marvel, the second Captain Marvel. She should have been there before the Carol Danvers, but the movie universe decided to do things kind of ass backwards, which was pretty off-putting for me. But here you get to find out what's up with her, what's going on, what this whole sword thing's about, this kind of new shield and everything they're tackling. It shows you some of those key moments that we've seen in the previous episode, where you've got the beekeeper coming out of the sewers, you've got Wanda finding this toy helicopter, you've got so many things exposed in here. It's almost fourth wall breaking in kind of meta Deadpool sense, because you've got characters like Darcy in Wu trying to figure this out, dissect it, understand what's going on. You've got them establishing that it's running on like old TV frequency, and they managed to hook up an old TV and look in on what's going in. Their viewers, we've gotten glimpses of certain things, and we now get to see them from other perspectives and bring insight to a lot of things that people were confused and baffled by, and it works absolutely well. Right now is the time to jump into WandaVision. However, some of you might want to wait all the way until it's finally over and then binge it all in one setting, because these 30 little snippets, the little 30-minute episodes, originally I thought that we were going to be getting like hour-long episodes. So I can understand why people are put off by these 30 little snippets, 30 little minute snippets. They come in, you view it, and it just leaves you hanging, and you gotta wait a whole nother week to see just another 30 minutes that's gonna leave you hanging. But this episode, I feel like, is one of the strongest for you. It's definitely what the more casual audience needed. There's to feel at home. I have felt right at home with all the WandaVision stuff we've been delivered so far, but this one is what the audience needed. So if you got off put by WandaVision, you should at least check out this episode, and then it can leave it up to you if you want to binge it later or start watching it and waiting that week start watching those little 30-minute episodes and then wait a week for the next, or binge it all. But definitely at the least check out this one if you've been off put by WandaVision, because I believe it can turn your perspective around, as it does put things back into that more traditional MCU universe that we're familiar with, and show us it from that side. It's going to be really interesting. There were a lot of different great things in here. There's some comedic moments in here that work really well. There's some compelling and intriguing moments in here. It does not fully expose all the mystery to this, because there is more mystery. But it's just kind of cool to see these characters sitting around the TV trying to figure out who all these characters are and why this is a sitcom, why it's set in like the 50s, then moves into the 60s, then moves into the 70s, to have this team of people trying to figure it out like they're the audience themselves. It was very intriguing to watch this, and I really enjoyed it, but it's not my favorite episode so far, because it does expose a lot of the mystery, and the episode essentially is just to explain to the audience what they're getting themselves into. I feel like if this episode was dropped with the other three up front, then a lot of people that felt off-put by this maybe would not have felt off-put by this. They would feel like, okay, yeah, I can do this, because it's the MCU. It is the Marvel Cinematic Universe you all know and love. It is the Marvel Cinematic Universe you're familiar with, and you don't want to drastically change. This episode shows you everything from that perspective. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with characters like Monica Rambeau. Seeing Darcy return here, and Wu just makes such a great impression on here. There's a lot of little funny moments, a lot of little stuff in here, and all the characters on the show, why they did kind of pinpoint who everybody is, who's missing, why, which people these are. They have not figured out who everybody is. For instance, Agnes, as they're kind of watching the show, discovering who all these characters are in real life, as they're stuck in this universe, not knowing who they are, this pocket universe that Wanda is actually responsible for. However, I still think there's more at large here. There's somebody else in the works, and I still have a pretty strong feeling that Mephisto is involved to some degree or some extent, but I don't think Wanda's gonna be the main villain. However, she absolutely could be, and I could be dead wrong, but we'll have to see how all this plays out. But I just wanted to point this out. For those of you who have not been on board, this episode will highly likely get you on board with WandaVision. It's certainly enjoyable to see Marcy and Wu back. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. Thank Goodwin here. Eventually we will like, subscribe, share. And I also like to say that this episode's like an 8 out of 10, but it's underwhelming to me because I already know what I'm getting myself into. I already feel right at home. But for those of you who don't, welcome back. This will make you feel right at home. Or maybe I'm wrong. Some of you will still be offput and still not give a damn. Let me know in the comments section below. Like, subscribe, share, stay awesome. Rock on.
Next. Wanda.